If you've been following our channel for any amount of time, you've probably heard us say that the center channel is the most important speaker in a home theater. And if that's the case, then you might be asking yourself what we think is the second most important speaker in your setup. Well, in our opinion, in order to get the most out of a movie soundtrack, a subwoofer is an absolute necessity as well. And that's why today we're going to be taking a look at Emotiva's newest and largest 15-inch high-performance subwoofer, the XS15. So if you're wondering what kind of performance you can get from a $1,200 subwoofer, then stick around and we'll get into it right after the intro. Alright, so as I mentioned, today we're going to be doing a full review of Emotiva's new SX15. You might have noticed that we already did an unboxing of this sub earlier on the channel. And I have to warn you, this is a pretty large sub in a large box. It's shipped to us on a pallet with a boxed weight of 136 pounds, and the subwoofer itself weighs right around 114 pounds. As always, we found that Emotiva packed the subwoofer very well with this high-density foam, protecting it from any shipping damage, and it came with everything that you would expect, like a power cord, owner's manual and warranty information, and of course, a grill. Taking a look at the sub itself, Emotiva decided to go with a 15-inch paper cone driver, which is reinforced with aramid fibers and features a heavy-duty rubber surround and cast aluminum basket. This should offer plenty of rigidity while keeping the weight of the cone as low as possible, which in theory should result in better articulation and quicker transient response. To power the sub, Emotiva is using a 600-watt RMS Class AB amplifier with a beefy toroidal transformer. Now, this is a bit of a departure from their RS line, which uses a Class D amp, and this difference explains why they added a heatsink to the back of the SX series. Right off the bat, we want to give props to Emotiva for including both RCA and XLR inputs. It's nice to have an option to go with XLR if you're placing your sub a long distance from your source, which can help to reduce noise in some cases, but for the vast majority of receivers, an RCA is all you need. Below that, you also have a switch to set the subwoofer to auto standby or always on mode, and there's also a light to indicate whether or not the sub is actually on. Next, we have these 4 rubber-coated adjustment knobs for setting the subwoofer's volume, low frequency boost, which applies as much as a -3 dB cut, or a 9 dB boost to the subwoofer's output at 30 Hz. You also get an adjustable crossover, which can be set anywhere between 60 Hz and 150 Hz to match your speakers. Now, of course, if you're using a receiver or a processor with its own subwoofer crossover setting, you should set this crossover knob as high as it will go, otherwise known as LFE mode, so you don't interfere with the bass management settings of your source. And of course, there's also a phase knob that you can adjust from 0 degrees to 180 degrees to match the phase of the rest of the subs in your system in order to get the best sounding bass possible. Finally, you also get a voltage switch that you can set depending on your region, a fused AC power input, and an on-off switch. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, this is the largest subwoofer Emotiva has, measuring in at 23 5/8 inches tall, by 19 3/4 inches wide by 24.5 inches deep. The whole cabinet is made out of high-density fiberboard, or HDF for short. It's also nice to see that Emotiva decided to take a page from the design of their Emotiva speakers and finish this subwoofer with the exact same durable vinyl finish and high-quality satin black lacquer finish that you get on the new T3 towers, which really helps to create a perfect match across the whole system. Another slight departure from their RS line in terms of the cabinet was to move the front slotted port to the rear of the subwoofer. This gives the front a much cleaner look, but at the same time, in order to give the sub enough room to breathe, you have to consider the rear firing port when placing it in your room. And speaking of the room, we did all of the testing of this sub in our main 7.1.4 Dolby ATMOS home theater, and we say 7.1 because we disabled all of our other subs to do our evaluation of the SX15. We also placed the sub in multiple locations of the room in order to find the spot that gave us the best bass response possible. We tested this sub hooked up to our IOTA AVX17 Dolby ATMOS processor, which is also sending a signal to our Emotiva UPA1 monoblocks for the front stage, an XPA5 for the surround channels, and a BassX A5 amp running our 4 Atmos height channels. And we also should mention that we still have the T3 Plus towers and C3 center channel on hand, which was nice because we could actually test this sub with other Emotiva speakers to see how the entire system sounds together. Now, as far as movies go, we demoed a lot, but we're only going to talk about a few that really stood out with this sub. And the first one that I want to mention is a scene that a lot of people use to demo subs, and that's the beginning of Edge of Tomorrow.
I'm not sure if we're even on the air.
And although I think this is a great way to test a sub, I also feel like it's a really weird sounding bass, almost like a digital type of bass, and it's not my favorite sounding demo. With that said, I recently got my hands on the 4K remaster of Edge of Tomorrow and decided to go ahead and watch the entire movie again. And this made me realize that not only is there a lot of bass in the opening scene, but the whole movie has a very well-mixed LFE soundtrack that this subwoofer did a great job reproducing.
You're going the wrong way! You're gonna miss your moment!
What the hell?
Next, we moved on to the movie Fury, which is another one of my go-to sub demos. And here the XS15 did an excellent job reproducing the rumble of the tanks while also achieving the most punch we've heard from any sub we reviewed during the intense machine gun fire.
Start squirting that tree line. Let's light them up.
We also noticed that transitions between the machine gun fire and the artillery fire were seamless without any kind of overhang due to large transients. The last battle in Avengers Endgame was also really impressive, especially for just one sub. And finally, the bridge scene from Spider-Man No Way Home is another great demo scene if your sub is up to the task. And the XS15 proved that it was more than capable here and seemed to have plenty of headroom left over. And again, as I mentioned, we demoed a lot of different movies with this sub, and the bass in all of them sounded very natural while offering huge amounts of bass output. In fact, it has enough output that I would say you could get away with using just one sub, but of course having dual subs will give you a more rounded and evenly distributed bass response throughout your entire room. And on top of that, you'll also get the added output if you need it. Another thing that I noticed about this sub is its ability to give a very even output throughout its entire frequency range, especially for it being a ported sub. I've heard subs that do a great job reproducing the frequency the port is tuned to, but seem to be lacking in other areas like their mid-bass impact. The XS15, on the other hand, has tons of low-end output without sacrificing the impact of the mid-bass. This was especially apparent while watching the tank scene from Fury. So the point I'm trying to make here is that the XS15 is a very well-rounded sub as far as its overall output is concerned. To get a feel for how the sub sounded with music, we also went through our playlist of speaker and subwoofer demo tracks, and again we were very impressed with the overall natural sounding presentation. Although I don't think it was quite as quick and articulate as a few of the best sounding Seal subs that I've heard, the XS15 is no slouch either, especially if you're looking for a sub that can really rock the house. We really feel like Emotiva nailed it with this sub. Compared to the SB3000, we feel that the XS15 has quite a bit more output and only costs $100 more. And while the SB3000 amp is rated to put out more power, the bigger driver size and extra cabinet volume of the XS15 work together to overpower the smaller SB3000, especially when it comes to movies. Now, at the beginning of the video, we set out to see just how much performance you could expect from this subwoofer, and also try to decide if it's worth the $1,200 asking price from Emotiva. Now, of course, value is in the eye of the beholder, but we think this is one of the best price to performance subs on the market right now when considering all the subs that we've tested on this channel. So we have no problem giving the Emotiva XS15 our highest recommendation for a home theater sub at this price. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. If you want to check out the XS15 or any of the other products we mentioned here in this video, I'll be sure to leave links to everything down in the description below. And if you enjoyed it, leave a comment, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our future content. And as always, have an awesome day.